Here at the Asian Financial Forum 2019, we're with Mr Zoellick. He is the former president of the World Bank, and thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Really now looking at the relationship between China and the United States. This is something that you've had a great deal of experience about. What do you see that relationship as being today, and how is it going to be in 2019 overall?
Well, I think both today and for the near term, we're going to see some friction, some accusations, some negotiation. And I think that while the immediate issues that are dominating are trade, I think some of the tensions run more deeply. I think in the near term that China doesn't want to have a big trade fight, but the U.S. wasn't so clear on who is in charge of the negotiation and what the goals are. I think that there are some signals from the last meeting that President Trump may be interested in trying to reach some accommodation because of the effect on markets. But it's very hard to tell with him, and I think the most that you would achieve would be a form of a truce, not necessarily a real solution, because the underlying problems not only go to issues of market access and forced technology transfer, intellectual property rights and others, but some of the big issues of the fairness of state capitalism, the future of the Belt and Road, the Made in China 2025 project, some foreign policy issues. And so what I've said to my friends in Beijing is that while Trump represents some of these concerns, they run deeper, and that I think they need to be prepared that they'll extend beyond him.
So here in the Asian Financial Forum 2019, you already got an outlook of the whole year. And to what extent would you say that the relationship between China and the United States is going to be absolutely front and center in your outlook for the year?
What I said in my presentation was, traditionally the U.S. also tried to promote the rules of the game, some norms, so particularly for newer areas, services, technology, some of the data issues, biological issues. The U.S. is no longer playing that role. So the bigger question that I raised today was whether we're in the midst of a structural shift, which could undermine the system that's been developed over 70 years that frankly has been very important for the smaller and medium-sized economies. The big guys can take care of themselves. The questions, Hong Kong, for example, has grown enormously because it's been part of an international trading system. And I think that's an issue we're going to have to watch in 2019.
Now, Robert, you're really looking at the world economy, but also, I believe, looking at the Chinese economy. What are the prospects that you see there, particularly where are these big ideas and blueprints, such as the Greater Bay Area that we have before us?
Well, to take the first one, China has had enormous progress over 40 years, and it's had the most historic reduction of poverty in humankind. On the other hand, China is going to have to change its growth model. It's going to have to move away from export-led and investment growth to more domestic demand, consumption, services. Now, second, you mentioned the Greater Bay Area. I think this is an opportunity because it fits the notion of sometimes the cluster or agglomeration effects in the economy. However, the challenge for Hong Kong will be not only the hard infrastructure, railways, bridges, roads, but some of the soft connectivity to move capital, information, and people.
Now, here at the Asian Financial Forum, of course, you are a prime speaker. So what's your impressions of the forum as you've seen it?
Well, I think it's a great way to start out the year. I think, Hong Kong is, a unique, vibrant city, but it's also part of the doorway to mainland China, but it's also part of an international system. And I think a lot of the experiences and traditions of Hong Kong, are well suited for some of the challenges of the international system and the market economy. So I think people use this forum as a chance as the year begins to kind of get a sense of not only, what's the cyclical growth or what's going to happen in monetary policy, but try to get a feel for the temper of some of the issues over time.